Welcome back to the No Tact Talk podcast. Y'all, I'm super excited to be here. If you're watching on the video, watching on YouTube, I got the hoodie. Okay, the hoodies are out. I've already pushed it out on social media and everything. I'm super excited about my No Tact Talk hoodies. Yes, everybody who follows the podcast, you are officially No Tacticians. I'm pushing that more now as well. We have a group of people that in their own perspective lives, they had no tact. And again, it's not just we out here acting crazy, but it's just in whatever that we do, whatever we're dealing with, whatever life throws at us, we have a no tact approach to it to be a little bit different, right? Some people say keeping it 100. Other people just say I do my own thing, go against the grain. But if you look up the definition of tact and how we have to be in this world when everybody's doing the same thing, I think this is a pretty good message to kind of stand behind. So go on the website, early plug, and check it out. But with all that being said, I actually have I won't necessarily call this a bonus episode, but because it's still going to come out as a regular episode, but this is kind of a more of an even more informal episode. There won't be like a verse at the end unless we just start talking about scripture. It won't be like a random question of the day. Actually, a good friend of mine and brought me another person who's my guest today together. He was like, Jay, you got to have her on. Great story. Boom, boom, boom. And it's so funny because as you will be listening to this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, among other things. And I actually prayed probably September-ish for something like this to happen. The women in my family chose to take the route, say, hey, I'm going to deal with it, move forward. This does not define me type thing. And I do think that every woman deserves to obviously live how she wants to live. But other people, like the guest I have today, she's decided to kind of take a stand and share her journey, share her, her story with other people to, motivate. And she'll let you know about that here in a second. Especially from the last season and then this season as well. And it wasn't even on purpose. I've come to know some amazing women. As every guy, you naturally kind of want to, hey, fellas, this is for us, boom, 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 boom. But some of my favorite episodes have been with some amazing women in whatever arena they are in life. And so not like, just amazing women or just amazing Black women or just good for this. No, just an amazing individual. I think a lot of times we just say, you're good for this. You look good for that. And we just forget, like, no, like you just dope in general, right? You just their own personal drive like that. The self-discipline, the stances we take in life is not gender specific, race specific, whatever else. So anyway, that's my little intro. But without further ado, I want to insert applause here. Miss Paris Smith, how's it going?
Going good.
Thank you for just gracing the podcast. This is a No Tact Talk podcast. I'm glad you were able to get here today. I know we had a little scheduling issues due to the U.S. Army. I'm gonna shout y'all out always for always changing the hours of my day.
Right.
So thank you for being flexible with that. How's everything been going today?
Everything's been going good. I just been on kind of edge, honestly. I have surgery tomorrow, so
okay.
Been in a different little headspace than I normally would be. But all in all, I'm good. I'm in good spirits.
Okay. So I kind of actually want to let you lead the conversation a little bit on where you want to start. Obviously, I tell people all the time, I definitely social media stalked you to the ends of the earth and just saw what you were about, saw your journey. So I kind of want you to just, start wherever you want to, as far as what you would like people to know and kind of what you're dealing with and how you're moving forward with that, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So, well, for one, I not only do I have breast cancer, I have multiple sclerosis as well. So I've had a journey with that as far as like being able to walk again, which to me, I always tell people it gave me the strength to deal with what I'm dealing with now. So in March of this year, I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, which is a more aggressive cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to deal with that. It was kind of hard because I don't have a history of breast cancer in my family.
Really?
So, yeah. So obviously it was one of those things where you're like, whoa, this is a bit much.
Mm.
But, dealing with what I dealt with my other illness, it kind of gave me the strength to deal with what I'm dealing with now. So after I got diagnosed, I had to start chemotherapy. So I did aggressive chemotherapy for 6 months. That was really hard because, you know, everybody knows with chemo comes side effects of hair loss, nausea, vomiting. But for as far as the hair loss, I actually embraced that. Pretty much. I did a photo shoot back in May for my birthday, and it was actually my friend's idea, and he was kind of like, hey, you need to, embrace it, and do a photo shoot. And I'm like, what? Not doing a photo shoot. I don't want people to see that side of me. And I got there and I got dressed and he started snapping photos and I started seeing it on the screen. And I'm like, wow, like this is dope. Like, who would have thought that I would have embraced that part of this journey? And, so it was a lot of components dealing with that and embracing that and embracing this journey that I'm on. And I'm very open with my journey on Facebook, Instagram.
Why?
I just have always been that way. Even when with my MS, like I wasn't able to walk, and I shared that vulnerable part of me that, for some people would be like, that's her own personal journey. Like she doesn't have to share that. But I just have always known that that's what I wanted to do, is share. And, because you never know who you're helping out. You never know who you're inspiring. And with this journey, I've had so many people like reach out to me and say, hey, you're such an inspiration. And it helps me deal with the journey that I'm on now, because it's like, wow, like you're going through something personal, but you're also helping other people in the long run. And, during your own process, you're trying to process it, and other people are like, wow, like she's so open and she's so, just out there and like letting the world know, like, this is what I'm going through. It may not be what you're going through, but it could help them. So, I just embrace this journey because I know it's for a reason. Like, I always say God never gives you anything for like no reason. Like it's always a reasoning behind it. And it's opened up so many doors, with you and like other people to be able to share and, get it out there that you can deal with something and not be afraid to share or,
So can you describe to me, because what was multiple sclerosis? Can you describe to me what that is?
So basically, it's like a cord, and if a cord doesn't have the covering, you plug it up and it doesn't work. So with MS, my body is literally attacking my nervous system. Those cords, they call them myelin. So the covering of the nerves, my body is attacking that and eating that. So a normal person would, be able to have those signals sent to their legs to walk and do certain things. Mine is like their signals are going everywhere. So it's the craziest illness, because I'm like, I've never heard of that. Like your own body attacking your nervous system to the point where you have spasms, some you can't walk. And it could be a very debilitating disease. But, I went through that journey and I wasn't able to walk for about probably like 3 to 4 months.
Dang. Okay.
And that was scary because, you don't know if you're going to be able to walk again. You just are taking it day by day, and I was in rehab doing physical therapy like every day. And that was, hard because I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk again, if I'm going to be able to work again, if I'm going to have a normal life. Like all these thoughts just go through your head and you're just kind of everywhere with how you feel.
How did you end up, before I'll, get to the second part, how did you cope? How did you deal with it? Because when I was talking to my therapist, she said, well, I love her to death. Like I gotta go back, to be honest with it. She said, I learned that coping mechanisms weren't necessarily a bad thing, because at least for me, you raise up, you think about like drugs, alcohol, whatever coping mechanism, but she said that the way I protect myself, because for me, if I see something's gonna happen, or I can foresee something bad happening, if I'm in it, my brain just goes somewhere else to protect myself. Right. So where was like, how did you get through that? You know, because people make it, because when you got through the weeds, oh, it was this. I just read this book, and I just saw TD
Right.
Jakes, so I just drank a
Right.
cup of water a day, made the
Right.
whatever go away. It's like, bro, like, you know,
Right.
nobody
That was
really
real
talks
stuff.
about the
The
bad
real,
times, right? Yeah.
right. No, trust me, it was horrible. Like, and of course, it was at a point in time in my life where I was going through, I had, my marriage was messed up,
Mm,
and it sent me into this deep depression. Like, I had never been so depressed.
mm,
And that's actually what caused the MS relapse, because I was so depressed and stressed, because
mm,
I didn't know what was going on with that situation. And so going through that and not being able to walk and not really having that spousal support
yeah.
was very hard. And it was probably the lowest point in my life.
Mm,
And the thing that got me through, of course, was God. But I'm such a determined person, like, and work has always been my motivation.
mm-hmm.
So I was determined to go back to work. And I'm like, whatever I have to do to
So you
get
just
back to work,
you had to get something to cling
to
to, right?
motivate myself. I
Okay.
did. I really did. And even with, dealing with what I'm dealing with now, like, work has been like my thing. Like, I can't miss
Mm-hmm.
work. I gotta, and it's not so much I, work is like I have to be at work. It was just like my goal.
Mm-hmm.
My goal was to walk again so that I could work, because I love what I do. And that was like my motivation. So every time I was in the gym, doing physical therapy, I'm like, okay, come on, we got to get back to work,
By yourself.
by myself.
That's wild. We can't gloss over that. That's what I'm saying. Everything sounds good when you. It's weird. Like I think about daily. I mean, I'm pretty much daily. I forgot the scripture. I think it's saying like die daily to your flesh, and that's just about like temptation. So that's one beast
Right.
in itself. But for another thing is to I think people take lightly. Okay, think about it like this. Let me backtrack. While we get up in the morning, right, so we can make money. If we don't
Right.
make it on time for work, right, then we get fired. So that's
Right.
that's what motivates you. It's not
Yeah.
like you're not doing that. It's life.
Right.
But you get what I'm saying? Like stuff
Yeah.
we're designed, right? So it's how do people motivate themselves? And this is a mental thing, because
Exactly.
what I don't like, and I always talk about this, what I don't like is going on YouTube and you always see these motivational videos, and it's like people working out, lifting chains, pulling a train or whatever, and there's no motivational video for, like, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
for dealing with like mental roadblocks.
Right.
And I always just find it interesting of how people develop it. And so
Yeah.
maybe it happens on purpose. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe our body just won't let us, and I like to think that God, like, no, like, let me put something in her at an early age to where she
Exactly.
just ain't finna quit that
Right.
easily.
Right.
But then there's this, this is my question too. There's this thing where, okay, they say that God will never put more on me that I can handle. Okay, well, this is a lot.
Right.
I'm like, I
A
can't
whole
handle
lot.
this. But
Right.
that's some people gloss over there too. They like, well, they say David and Goliath. Okay, cool. He slayed Goliath. But like, do you know, like, it's, think about it. Like, look at the setting for a second of like this short dude against a 9-foot giant, all the things that
Right.
happened to it. Like, I'm sure he still had all these doubts he had to get through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, do you, my question is,
Hmm.
did you ever question God? Or even like
Oh
now throughout
yeah.
the entire thing? Like,
Yeah.
what was that like? Because people just think people that love God go
Don't
to church.
question God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Don't question.
what was that
Oh,
experience like for you?
I because I dealt if I went through like the whole entire story of how
Mm,
I got where I got, I definitely questioned God. Like, from my marriage to trying to have a child to
mm,
having a relapse in the midst of all that, like, it was a lot to cope with. And it was like back to back type stuff. And I'm
mm.
like, got through that. And I'm like, okay. And then like another thing hit. And then the MS. And I'm like, okay, God, like, what's going on? Like, I thought
Thought we
I
was
thought we were
good. I thought
cool.
we was
I thought,
here.
right. I thought we were cool.
Yeah.
You're showing me like this is not Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot to process. And like, I went through suicidal thoughts. I went through depression, deep depression, going to work every day, like, and internalizing all this. And not a lot of people didn't know. They just know, okay, well, Paris is in Paris right now because she's not smiling, she's not laughing. And I have like the most craziest laugh. And they're like, she's not laughing. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, internally, I'm dealing with all this stuff, trying to hold it in.
So you hadn't told anybody at that point?
No, I didn't. I was just going to work, and they just knew like I just wasn't myself. And I would go home to the house and have to deal with all that. And when I had that relapse, it was like somebody told me, they were like, it was like, because I was going, because I was trying to suppress everything. And somebody told me like it was God's way of sitting me down when I had that relapse, because I had no other choice but to lay there, and it was just me and him. Because I had been running for so long, and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm hurt, but I'm not going to deal with it. I'm hurt, but I'm not going to deal with it. And then it was like, all right, enough is enough. Like, you got to deal with this stuff. You have to sit and deal with all this.
So we're similar, because we're like, are you stubborn?
Oh yeah, very much so. I'm a Taurus, so yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't believe in any of that. I think I'm a Virgo. I always forget. I was born in August, so
okay.
That's amazing, but it sucks. It sucks that it takes that much to, you know what I'm saying, to get to where we really need to go. And God's like, man, when I made her, she gonna, because we think we got it all together. Right, I think a lot of times we get complacent. I'm good, God. I'm going to church. I'm paying tithes. The thing on auto pay. Like I'm doing everything right. That man was fine, but I'm still not gonna cheat because I'm going whatever. Right. Yeah. We're having all these thoughts, and then he's like, nah, like, because I always ask people like, okay, well, do you ask God for time to go deeper or for an opportunity to go deeper? Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm saved. Boom. Going straight to heaven. Right.
Yeah.
But what now?
You're right.
Do you know, we're not even gonna talk about like spiritual gifts and like that, but do you want to go deep with me? Do you want to have a better relationship with me? Because we want to do with everything else. We get married, we want to go deeper and try different things. And I always feel like God, like, why not me? You have, because I'm the reason why you're here in the first place.
Right.
Have you ever seen the thing on Netflix? It's like a documentary called American Gospel.
No.
You should really watch it.
Yeah.
Towards the end, and this what made me think about it when I was getting prepared for today. It was talking about people. I want to say, I have to look it up. I want to say one lady had MS, another lady had it was a lot of craziness. I think one lady So, but they were saying too that brought them closer to God. And one of the guys was like, "Hey, if you could, get healed from this, would you want to do it?" And the lady was like, "No." I was like, "Cap, ain't no way." But then she was like, "No." She was like, "No," like, because it was a distraction, like, because she was like some fitness lady or whatever. And she said, "Well, God had to physically and spiritually sit me down."
Yeah.
Because you never would have saw it. You think life is so good and you live in this life and you really it's to your detriment. Right. Like, hey, because it's really, I think it's hard for people to grasp the idea of an ailment or an issue or something that really can't readily be,
right.
Give you a pill for this, fix. It's like, this is what's meant for me.
Right.
And they have, it's hard to connect those dots because they don't preach about that at church for real.
Yeah.
It's more, and they talked about prosperity gospel and always hearing the good, the good stuff, not necessarily good news.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of hearing no, or how to praise him through the pain and stuff or what TDJ he be saying I was just laughing. Like the threshing. If one something he said, basically it's like that flame. It's always burning. Impurity stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even with me, I always talk about myself as an example. I just recently found a couple years ago adult ADHD, wow. and going through that, and it's like, I just showed my wife this video the other day. Okay, especially in the Black community, I'm sure everybody got some ADHD. I'm sure everybody dealing with something. And it's like it's just no. Yes, everybody might forget something. We're talking about the duration of it. This is like my entire day versus just forgetting your keys twice a week,
Right.
But anyway, without me talking too much. So we're moving forward. You're at your life now. Okay, cool. Was there like a peace period in between the MS and the you said triple negative?
Yeah, triple negative.
Was there like a middle period to where you was kind of like right?
Yes, yeah. And that was actually when I moved here and like I got back on my feet and I got a job and I was just like, okay, everything's going good. I got this new job and I'm working on myself and I'm moving past, my situation that I prior had. And I just had that piece about myself and about where I was going. And then God was like, all right, got one more thing for you to handle. Dang. This one's kind of different. And so I got hit with that one. And the crazy part is with both of these illnesses, like I don't have a family history of either.
What?
So it was like, this is like, okay, you said what now?
What makes Cancer. You so special?
Right. I'm like, come on. Stop it. Like,
chill out for real.
Right. Really? Right. Okay. All right. I got it. But yeah, this one kind of hit me real hard because I'm like, I don't have, like not only did you give me cancer, you gave me aggressive cancer. Like, and nobody has it in my family, no past history. I had to do a genetic testing. And she was like, basically, like, this was like a fluke. And I'm like, a fluke? I think I would rather have a family history than a fluke. Like, that's probably worse than anything because it's like, you really just got it. Like out of nowhere.
You were possibly starting the history. Yeah.
Right. So now going forward, like my nieces have to get checked. So I'm like the first one in the family. So now going forward, it's like, now they're at risk because I have cancer.
That's a crazy first.
It is.
Did you do any therapy? Like aside from the church? Did you do any like therapy?
So when I moved here, I knew I needed to see somebody because my mental space was not that great. Especially like I did not want to move to Atlanta. I actually was kind of like I had no other choice because me and my husband were getting a divorce. So I'm like, like I don't have anywhere to go. Like I can't stay on the streets, because at that time I needed like 24-hour care because I was not able to walk or do anything on my own. So when I got here, it was just like, okay, I need to see somebody because I felt and even when I was in Memphis, like I actually started therapy like right after my ex-husband left, which is crazy because like who goes to therapy, after dealing with something like that? But it was an accountability thing on my behalf to get help and work on things that I did. So I knew going forward, coming to Atlanta, I needed to deal with not only that, but deal with my current situation was, not being able to walk. And I needed to deal with that. So I called my insurance and I was like, hey, is there a therapist around here? So she gave me the number and I called a therapist and she was excellent. Like she was great. Like she was one of those therapists that like dig deep down and like, okay, what did you do? How did you get to this place? And I'm like, okay, so it was some deep therapy sessions that I went to and it actually helped me a lot because it was like, okay. And I was going to her and I was still in a wheelchair, so she was dealing with multiple things with me. And so it helped me so much going forward because it was like, this is something that I need to help me get through what I'm going through currently. So I advise anybody, I'm an advocate for therapy for sure.
Yeah. And that's another reason too. On the last episode, one before that, I was talking about, people will say, God got you and you're going to be, what I'm saying? It's so easy to say an ism, a thing.
Right.
And then see you next Sunday or, talk to you later.
Right.
But you still stuck with it. And so I had to, again, like you just said, check myself before I'm passionate and say anything. I had to look at myself. Right.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I said, how many times have I said, I'm going to pray for you? I never did it.
Actually, right, exactly.
And and no fault, no fault to anybody, but we do it a lot. I think people who don't even believe in God. Hey man, I got you. I hope you feel better. I'm be thinking about you. I'm gonna call you and never
Right.
call.
Never call.
And now I personally, that's one of the things I had to talk about in this year. I take stuff personal. If you know me at all, I will remember. I think one of my sister's old boyfriends still owe me a bottle of Crown. He does. I swear, I kid you not. Probably 3 years in a row. Birthday, Jay. Hey, yeah, man. Because I think I just turned like 22 or something. You know,
Brother, I got you.
I got you, man. Let me get you a bottle of Crown, man.
Right.
And he still never got me that. She didn't even talk to. I don't even know they even cool anymore, right? But
right.
That's how this was like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
But I hold on to it. And I think people do that a lot.
Yeah.
And then the next time you see that person, now we have built up resentment. You weren't really shooting with me in the gym. Don't know. Now that I'm on no Tact Talk, don't try to hit me up now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so then, all right, God, now I gotta check myself again because now I'm all how am I? No, it's just a cycle.
Right.
You know, and so I had to learn to give myself a break. I had to learn to just relax and just chill and through all the stuff that God puts us through.
Right.
You know, I think a comparison is a thing as well. You know, when we're going through what we're going through, no matter what it is. Oh, well, I mean, I can even imagine, and you tell me if I'm wrong or out of pocket or not, but like, I don't even know if this is a thing. I'm just giving you an example. No tech. I apologize if I'm being whatever, but it's just, I'm just using an example. So it's like, well, she just got regular breast cancer, you know, so how come I couldn't just get that? Or she got this, or her chemo was this way.
Yeah.
You know, and we're always comparing what we got going on with somebody else, whether it be good or bad. Yeah. And I think that, you know, it takes people, I can even say people like us. Are you the strong friend in your friend groups?
Oh, yeah.
I'm feeling strong vibe energy. Okay, great. People say they want a strong friend. If people say, I want somebody that's no tact, or I want somebody that's real with me 100.
Yeah.
Somebody put me in my place and I know I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
What do when they have something going on? They go to the friend that be ready to fight.
Right.
They go to the friend that's going, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Speaking of friends, did you lose any friends? Did you lose any people in your life as a result of all of this?
Oh, actually, yeah, I did. And it was crazy because, oh my God. I just got an email from the guy.
Okay.
For the next Zoom.
Tell me you're almost done.
Okay. He just messaged me. He was like, where are you? I'm like, so yeah, anyway. So yeah, basically I did. It's like when I found out I had cancer, like all the people that were like, for me, like I hadn't heard from them in a while. And I think I did a live, not a live, but I did some videos today. And I was talking about that because I hadn't really heard from a lot of people that, that I was close to. And it kind of hurt because it's like, dang, I'm going through all this. And I'm always the one that's always reaching out to people. I'm the one that's like, hey, how are you? Just checking on you. I can't even recall like when I've got that, since I've had cancer. So it's kind of been a different dynamic with this one because, it's like, I don't know if they're scared or what, and they just don't know what to say. And a lot of them were like, well, I don't want to overwhelm you because I know you're, and I'm like, well, it'll be nice to hear from you. Like,
so you had to kind of break the ice a little bit and let them know.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did for sure.
What's going on, world? You know what? I know you're enjoying the episode right now because you're still here, right? No, but this is a quick little commercial to just promote the podcast website. This is actually the No Tact Talk podcast website. If you have not been there, go check it out right now and then come back to the episode. But anyway, the most important part of this website is the salvation tab. So you can click the top of the screen. I made an entire video. I think it's about 4 or 5 minutes long, not too long video about kind of how I came to Christ, my salvation experience, and how you can actually get saved through video. I think this is the best thing I've ever done because it's all about the people. It's all about getting people saved. That's why I do this. Also, we have merchandise. If you're interested in cool distress hats, awesome quality hoodies that when you can wash them, it'll still look the same way, right? And then even a book bag for your kid, or maybe for you wanted to rep the No Tact Talk brand. The logo was actually embroidered in, so it's pretty thick. So I took time to make sure I got you guys some good quality merchandise. Anyway, also you can go on the episode tab as well. And I also have my favorite scriptures that were featured on the podcast as well. And if you want to contact me in any form of fashion, all of the socials are right here, or you can hit us up on email and I can respond to the email from wherever you are around the world. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Really quick, right? Go check out the website. I think it's a super cool place to be. And yeah, if you ever have any quick questions, you can go to the bottom right hand part of the screen of the website as well. And they go straight to my phone. If you have any questions or inquiries at all, let me know and I'll be sure to respond to that. So let's get back to the latest episode of the No Tact Talk podcast. Peace. Okay, so basically, I kind of wanted some more insight on the process. Okay, initial diagnosis, you found out we're here. Second thing, again, guy, like, it's crazy, right? On the, I guess the doctor side, what does the treatment plan usually look like for people that don't know? Because for me, I don't know, and I just recently found out a couple of years ago, guys can even get like breast cancer. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
And so, you don't have to obviously go in no crazy detail, but what does that journey look like? Do they set up a plan for you? Like, is it just a medical, or do they even set up a mental plan for you to deal with it, or just like what's up,
So actually, because the hospital that I go to, the cancer center that I go to, they have you fill out this sheet, and it asks you like, do you have spiritual beliefs, things like that? What's your mental health? Like they always ask like about your mental health, and they ask if you want to speak to someone. So actually, I have a social worker, and probably since I found out, no, I take it back. Probably closer to my surgery, I started seeking help for talking to somebody. So my social worker was like, hey, you want to set up something every Monday and we can talk, and, maybe you can get some things out. So I think last Monday, actually, probably right before I talked to you, I had like a whole 1 hour session, and I just kind of like let everything out, and she'll call me and ask me how I'm doing. So the mental health part, I think is very important, because that is something I feel like everybody should tackle, especially when you're dealing with something like, multiple sclerosis, or, something like breast cancer, or whatever else your illness may be. Like, it's important to deal with that aspect, because you can deal with it, but if you're internalizing it, and you're going to constantly be thinking about it all the time, like whether you want. And if you're not talking to anybody, you're just going to hold all that stuff in, and it actually makes you sicker, because your body is responding to that stress. And, everybody always says stress is not good for you. That's why people have heart attacks and things like that. So,
I couldn't get my teeth cleaned one time, because when I first started recruiting, that's what I'm doing out here in Texas in the Army, is recruiting 17-year-olds getting lied to every day. I did, because I always had jobs that were like numbers driven sales kind of thing, but this is like on steroids, and because it's not like you selling a TV,
right?
Ain't no money back guarantee with the Army, like, what I'm saying? Like, it's at least the next 3 years of somebody's life, and so it was just a crazy amount of pressure I was under. So when we moved here, maybe like the first month or so, I started working. I was like, why is my neck hurting all the time? Like, it wasn't even my head. It wasn't nothing crazy. My neck was just tense and hurting. I just remember doing this all the time.
Yeah.
And I had to make a dentist appointment. So I went to get my teeth cleaned, and she said she couldn't even clean my teeth. Because, and I never thought about it, but you get your blood pressure checked when you get your teeth cleaned, because whatever the tool is something they're using, it's a lot. Yeah. And so she was like, it was something stupid, like, I don't know, like 150 over like 100 or something crazy.
Oh, wow.
And and then I do have a history of blood pressure on my mom's side, like hypertension and stuff like that. And so I'm like, dang. And it was directly attributed to to stress.
Yeah.
And I told my boss, I was like, no mas. I said, no. I said, I can't even get my teeth clean, fam. Like, so for me, and I know we talked about it a little bit before, a lot of people need to be jolted into making better life decisions.
Absolutely.
And I tell people that you would rather you do it or have a human do it than God do
Right.
it.
Exactly. Because that's a whole different.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So it's enough of the bad stuff. Not necessarily bad, but like we were also here to motivate. We're also here to encourage.
Yeah.
When I was doing, that deep dive of you and who you were and talking to Jay about you, it's one thing to have the weekly meeting with the social worker. It's another thing to say, hey, this is me. Hey, these are my pictures. Hey, this is my journey.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to do this not for the DMs or the hearts or the whatever, but I'm taking a stance for what has happened to me, and being a motivation for somebody else. A lot of the main question I asked him, I think I already asked, but I'll ask it again, but is why do you care? Because I mean, legit, because you don't have to. You can go to school, live your life, have your interpersonal relationships, get married, had a wife, pick whatever you want your dream to be, right?
Yeah.
And never even go on social media. Never
Yeah.
even, you can have your dream. So why do you care that other people are motivated or inspired by it? I mean, it sounds like a weird question, but it has to come from a good place, right?
Yeah. So I'm a caring person, and I care about myself as well. But when it comes to sharing my story or whatever, I don't know. I think it's just something that God instilled in me.
Okay.
And that's just a part of who I am. I've always been, I'm not going on there like if anybody goes to my social media, it's always something uplifting or it's something, dealing with what I'm going through. And I always put my little hashtags, beautiful with cancer, beautiful with MS. And I live by those because it's not just on the outside, it's on the inside for me, because it's like I had to get to that place where I'm like, you are beautiful on the inside. Like you have this caring spirit about you. You have all these attributes about yourself. And you love to uplift people. That's my main thing, and it just so happens that people see my stories and they're uplifted. It's not like I'm getting on there, writing what I'm going to write for social media. And I'm like, okay, well, how many responses can I get from this? I'm literally like, this is how I'm feeling today. Yeah. This is what I'm going through. And, if you can be on a journey with me or, not everybody comes from what am I trying to say? Not everybody comes from a genuine place when it comes to me sharing my story. Some people, they're inspired and some people are just nosy because they want to know what's going on with theirs, So especially dealing with what I dealt with my, my ex-husband, and people still don't know about that. And I dare not share that because they're going to be like, oh, let me tune in so I can hear about, Paris and really what happened. Because that's none of their business. But what I will share is the journey that I'm on, because I do believe that God gives you these things for a reason. And sometimes it's not for you to hold it in. Sometimes it is for you to share. And I believe that the things that God has put me through, those are things that need to be shared, because somebody out there, and I'm on this several MS groups where people are going through. And one day I just posed a question like, I use the hashtag, what do you, beautiful with MS. And I'm like, well, what are you beautiful with? And the response that I got was amazing. Like some people are beautiful with several different illnesses, even mental illnesses, depression, anxiety. Like I was so shocked to see all that, but in their minds, like that's what they feel that they are beautiful because that's what they live with every day, and that's why I love those hashtags. And it's not really a hashtag. It's more so, something that I'm trying to pursue because I really want to inspire and uplift women in general that are dealing with illnesses on a daily basis, whether it be MS, lupus, cancer, whatever. I just feel like that's what God has called me to do. So why not share my story? Why not tell the grimy details about what I'm going through? Not everybody shares that they're getting a mastectomy. Like, they hide all that. Like, I share it because that's just that's a part of the journey that I'm on right now. And whether it uplifts or hits somebody in the heart, that's what it does. Or whether people, like I said, are just trying to figure out what's going on with parents, then that's their MO. So,
I feel that. Yeah. And we're just in a results driven society to where nobody wants to see the journey. They just want to see you ringing the bell at the end or whatever else.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. That's hey, kudos. Amazing. I want to talk about before we out of here. I want to talk about, is a troublemaker in the background?
So I'm actually in my brother's studio. He's a musician. Yeah, praise and worship.
Shout out to the brother, man. That's what's up.
Yeah. So he
I thought you played the drums.
No, I just sing.
You alto, tenor, what we got? Soprano. Oh.
Sometimes you got to train yourself to, have that different ranges, in case you.
I'm a good choir singer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I probably sung like 3 solos my whole life. It's not my thing. I played the drums, did everything in the church for real. But I realized like kind of talking was my thing.
Yeah, I could tell. Yeah.
You're right. But you growing up and people's like, you're going to be a preacher, you're going to do this. And I was like, I don't know. It's still something that's, because now it's like, it's tough being a preacher now. Like, you got to ignore a lot of things. Yeah. I think it's tougher being a celebrity preacher than it is being like Beyonce.
Right. Exactly.
I'm going to be honest with you. Once you get like a little fame and people start noticing you, because Beyonce could slap a baby tomorrow. And then we'll be mad at her for, however long. But then once to go over, they don't ever go. They remember everything. The preacher coughed wrong way. Oh, God.
Do you remember when this pastor did so and so? And
that's why I don't go to church. No way. That's why I don't do this. No way.
Right. And they always said, that's exactly why I don't go to church. Because that part.
Don't get me started. Okay.
Look, I know I've been in church since.
Yeah.
Me and my brothers.
So knee high to a grasshopper.
Knee high to a grasshopper. So I definitely know.
That's good. And it's just amazing to me too as well how people that's going through something can still, I do feel like it's a roller coaster of emotions with your relationship with God, and it's hard having to resolve with something so crazy when we live in a world of, again, comparison and why me, and what I, what I'm saying, because it's one thing if you out here in these streets doing whatever, boom, 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 but like, God, is me, we here, we're supposed to be here, right? And so I want to bring it up again. I don't know why, because for me or the people that's listening, you might feel like, okay, it's like I'm gonna stop acting a certain type of way, I'm gonna stop doing a certain type of thing, and then the bad stuff happens. I think that's what gets it messed up.
Right, exactly. Like, what did I do, guys?
I was doing just fine, living in sin. And nothing happened to me. As soon as I go to church one Sunday, I get my tire flat, I get fired from my job. See, this is ridiculous. And I tell people all the time, the system is broken. It is. That's a whole nother podcast. But again, I want to thank you so much. I'm glad we got a chance to do this. I'm glad we got a chance to make sure that this is going to come out next Monday and make it for October. Because I wasn't going to do anything like this until something like this happened.
Yeah. A
lot of times I'll tell people, no, the scheduling might get messed up, but I'll feel relieved. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, why was I happy about somebody canceling on me, or we couldn't make it because of whatever reason, because God, like, no, you weren't supposed to do that in the first place.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm always going to be excited about the people that I talk to.
Yeah.
And I was super excited to talk to you, just because of you and everything, you taking the stance. And I'm always telling people, hey, no tact is about, you living your best life with whatever the cards that you're dealt. And I do believe that you're doing that. And I encourage you, and I'm gonna pray for you for real. I've been already to pray for you. I'm gonna do it right. I'll do it again right after the call, but the stuff that everybody, and especially that you're doing, is very intentional, and that's very rare. I do believe that is what No Tact is all about.
Yeah.
And I encourage everybody that's listening, in whatever space that you're in, is just to, I always say it at the end, have a little no tact in your life. Is we see the opportunities on a daily basis to make a change, to be a little bit different, to go against the status quo or whatever, but we just don't do it. I would say life is about the next right thing or the next right choice.
Right.
Not this giant plan, not this 90 days to this or 12 days to that. It's just the next right decision. And then you can develop those habits and be an inspiration in whatever you're doing. So
yeah, definitely.
Insert applause here. I always say it. Anyway, but anything else you want to say before we leave, or are you good?
No, I'm good. I feel like I covered everything.
Yeah.
I hope, people, listen and, just enjoy and be inspired, however they may be inspired by,
Yeah.
But you're definitely called to do this for sure. Like,
thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's very rare that you get on a Zoom call with somebody that does this, and you're like, my nerves are like, oh my God, what do I say? What I do? But one thing when I talk to you, you were like, be yourself, and that's one thing that I can only be is myself.
Right.
And, I don't like getting on there and like, this and that, and
because you're still fronting for people you don't even know.
Exactly. And I hate when I always tell people, like, I cannot be like, if I have, because I have a very discerning spirit. Mm-hmm. And I can't fake it. Like, I can't, some people can just be like, oh, I'll hang out with them anyway. I'm like, no, it's just not going to work out if I do it, because it's not going to be genuine, because I know there's something about you that is rubbing me the wrong way. And I could have just met you, but I've been like that ever since I was a baby. Like, when mom would tell me, like, people, I wouldn't go to certain people, I think that's just, the gift that God gave me. But I definitely felt comfortable talking to you. Like, that's why I was like, I almost forgot I had the other Zoom call with the guy, because I'm like,
yeah,
I like, I would rather be on this Zoom call than that one. But that one, that one went good. No, yeah. I mean, true, like, real, like,
I feel
for
it.
real. Like, it was I felt calm, and I felt very at ease, and just, like, I've been knowing you for.
Hey, we friends in my book. We good.
Right, exactly. Right.
Yeah. So for me too, I wanted to. It was a shift. Now that you mentioned that, it was a shift in intention. I started this for me because, and it helped. Don't get me wrong. It was my form of therapy, getting stuff out. But I realized that, this is bigger than me. Like you're saying, what you're dealing with is honestly, whatever you got going on, the MS, the breast cancer, anything else that might happen, right? It ain't about you. Right. Whether it be a calling, an ailment, or whatever else. If you really just change your perspective to realize that whatever happens to you, whatever you're dealing with your life, it's for other people. It's for God can get the glory through you.
Exactly.
Once you realize that you're a vessel, it kind of takes a lot of the weight off. And so I had to get beside myself. Like, and I tell you all the time, hey, it was a pride thing in there early on, season, first 10 episodes, I don't know, season 1. And so God was like, no, this ain't about you.
Exactly.
You got this microphone, but it's so for other people can hear it. And if I didn't start growing after that, when I made it, like I just told you before, I want to make sure that people hear you, right? Me aside, I might have some good to say, whatever, but it's just because I genuinely care about the person and then the people that's listening. So once you do that, you get beside yourself, you good.
Right.
You're dope. Okay. I think we're good.
Thank you.
So this has been another edition of the No Tact Talk podcast. It's always a reminder to live life on purpose and to always live with a little no tact in your life. Peace. Thank you for watching the latest episode of the No Tact Talk podcast. This is a reminder to like the video, comment on the video, and share it if you think somebody will enjoy it as well. We also want to make the podcast better. So if you see anything that you don't like or you think we should do a little bit more of, hey, leave it in the comments and let us know. Feedback is greatly appreciated, okay? Also, another friendly reminder, go to the No Tact Talk website. It's going to be in the bio of this video, and just check it out. It's everything about me. It's where you can find me, where you can reach out to me. We also have merchandise. It's some dope, listen to me, it's some dope merchandise, so check that out too. But more importantly, click the salvation tab to learn more about salvation, how I came to Christ a little bit, and you also can send that video to somebody else so they can get saved. Yes, they can actually get saved through video. But anyway, it's a bunch more stuff on there. I will see you guys for the next episode of the No Tact Talk podcast. Peace.